Hello friends, Vanakkam and welcome back to my channel. So in this video we will be discussing about Lord Vishnu. So Lord Vishnu in Tamil means it's filled everywhere. Engum niraindadu. That is what they say in Tamil. So in our previous video we saw about the Pranavam, right? So we discussed about the Pranava Nada Jyoti atom, which is filled everywhere and through which God does the 5 functions of creation, protection, destruction, concealment and grace. So this Pranava Nada Jyoti atom, right? It has two parts. One is the Pranava Nadam, which is the sound Om, and then the Pranava Jyoti, which is nothing but the light. So this Pranava Nadam, the sound Om, it is naturally present in one object that we get from the sea, and that is the conch or the seashell. So that is the reason Lord Vishnu has a seashell in his hand, that is a conch in one hand, and he has a chakra in another hand. So the chakra represents the light. So Vishnu is said to be the Pranava Nada Jyoti Shakti. The Vayu that is filled everywhere is made up of this Pranava Nada Jyoti atom, and this Vayu Shakti is said to be Lord Vishnu. So he was given the color blue. In our last video we spoke about the 3 sounds in Om, A, U and Im, right? A represents the number 8, U represents the number 2 and Im represents the number 6. So A plus U, which is 8 plus 2 is equal to 10, right? This 10 is represented by a letter Ya, and this is said to be our soul. So if you are wondering what does this letter A and U represents, I would request you to watch my previous video because we have discussed everything in detail there. In our human body, there are 10 different Vayus. The air that we breathe in, it gets divided into 10 different Vayus and does various functions in our body. It has both bodily functions and as well as divine functions. So the Vishnu is the Vayu Shakti and the 10 different Vayus are represented as 10 different avatars of Lord Vishnu called Dasavatar. So the experience you get in your 6 adharas, right, using this Dasa Vayu, it gives you the experience of a soul. So when I go through the social media, there is this concept that people always speak. What they think is if they can sit and meditate, they can get the experience of the divine. But then there are like 3 stages to it. First you need to get something called the Uyir Anubhavam, and this is called the experience of the soul. And then next comes the second stage, which is called the Arul Anubhavam. Arul means grace. So I don't have an exact English equivalent word for it right now. I will find the word and I will let you know in the next video, alright? So this is called Arul Anubhavam. Arul means grace. So can I say it as the experience of the grace? And then finally comes the Siva Anubhavam. Siva Anubhavam means the experience of the divine himself. So there are basically 3 stages. So the first stage that we discussed, the Uyir Anubhavam or the experience of the soul, it is gained by the 10 Vayus that exist in our body. And this is what has been explained to us through the 10 different avatars of Lord Vishnu. Now let us see how did this Dasavatar or the stories or Puranas they came into existence, alright? So the great Indian sages or the gurus or the jnanis, they are actually those people who have the greatest of the wisdom. And if you want to draw an hierarchy, these jnanis are said to be on the top. So what they did is, through their severe penance and meditation, they were able to experience the grace light. It is called Arul Voli in Tamil. If you can experience the grace light, you get to know all the knowledge that exists in this universe. So that is how they gained all the knowledge and they knew about all the truths and secrets. And these sages, they are very kind and they wanted all the humanity to have all the knowledge. It's not just the people of India or people of Tamil Nadu, how you want to classify, it is just the entire humanity. So they wanted the information to be passed on to the humanity, and that is the reason they created these stories. So when they wrote these stories, what they did is they included the actual name of the places and people who actually lived and they existed. And also, since these great sages had access to the divine power, certain imaginary incidents which they have written have actually manifested in real world as well. Normally the great sages, right, they wouldn't even speak much because once a word has been uttered, it begins to manifest. Even they try to remain thoughtless. That's the reason when they say a word, it becomes a reality. And because of all these things, we are not able to differentiate which is actually the truth and which is the actual story. Anyway, I think it is better if we focus more on the actual goal, that is to unveil the yogic secrets behind the Dasavatar. So normally when people think about yoga or meditation or to attain a divine experience, they think that they need to leave the family. In fact, that is not required. You can remain in your family and still can achieve everything and beyond everything a yogi could achieve. But two things are required for that. One is called the Jivagarunyam and second one is called Satvicharam. So we will speak in detail about these two topics in future. Right now we will be focusing more on Vishnu and the Dasavada topics. So Mahavishnu is actually the Pranavanada Jyoti atom, which we already discussed. And also one more thing is that our human soul is also made up of this Pranavanada Jyoti atom. So the soul atom is represented in the outside world as a statue of Mahavishnu with a chakra that represents the light and a conch or a seashell that represents the sound. So Vishnu is called by the name called Hari. In Tamil, Hari means brightness, Pragasam. And Rudran is called by a name called Aran and is said to be the light. So Rudran is the light and the Vishnu is the brightness of the light. A person who can see this light and experience it becomes Atma Rubi. So an Atma Rubi is the one who sees himself as this Pranava Jyoti and sees the same Jyoti everywhere and in everyone as well. So this light is actually called Aravindam. Aravindam means lotus. You can split lotus into two. One is love and then Theos. Theos means the Jyoti God. That is why there is a saying, love is God. So the God's divine force, right? It is said to be his feet. That is a God's feet. In Hindu temples, you can see a lotus that has been engraved in the stone, and on top of the lotus, you can see 2 feet, and people normally worship it, which means God's divine force is nothing but God's feet. In a human being, the leg helps to support and balance our human body, right? Similarly, the Vayu Shakti acts as a feet and supports our human body. It also develops and transforms this body as well. So the word Shiva, in Tamil it is written using 2 letters. One is C, another one is Va. So C means omnipresent, ever-existing God, which is represented as space. Va means the divine force of God, which is nothing but the Vayu Shakti. In Tamil, there are several words for Vayu. Since we discussed that Va represents the divine force of God, which is nothing but the Vayu Shakti, all the words in Tamil starts with the letter Va. So let me tell you a couple of those words. Vali, Vangul, Vandu, Vasi, Vadam, Vadai, Vayu. So all these words start with the letter Va because Va represents the divine force of God, which is the Vayu Shakti. So now let us see the 10 different avatars and what are the Vayus that are associated with these avatars. First one is the Macha avatar and the Vayu is the Nagan. Second one is the Kurma avataram and the Vayu is the Kurman. Third one is the Varaga avataram and the Vayu is Kirigaran. Fourth one is the Narasingha avataram and the Vayu is Devadattan. Fifth one is the Vamana avataram, the Vayu is Dhananjayan. Sixth one is the Balarama avataram, the Vayu is Vyanan. And then the Krishna avataram, the Vayu is Udanan. Parasurama avataram and the Vayu is Samanan. Rama avataram, the Vayu is Abanan. Kalki avataram, the Vayu is Pranan. So from the next video, we will discuss each and every avatar and the Vayu associated with the avatar in detail. Their divine properties and what are their functions in the body. So everything will be discussed, alright? So thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye.